Before becoming a parent, did you ever think that parenthood would be the way it is? You thought you would love motherhood. Turns out, you do love the kids, but you hate being a mum. Well, you're not alone in having these thoughts. Do you ever find yourself asking yourself, what the hell is wrong with me? I wanted to be a mum. It's one of my big dreams. I wanted it so badly, and now that I'm not loving a minute of it. It's horrible. Where did it all go wrong? And let me tell you again, you're not alone in having these thoughts. Many mums out there have absolutely no idea what exactly they're getting themselves into once they're a mum. Did anybody give you the choice of, maybe some sleepless nights versus exhaustion beyond what you thought ever possible? Or did anybody tell you to look into how much a child actually costs exactly from year to year before you were trying to conceive? Could anybody explain to you how you would, not understand anything, absolutely anything that your child is trying to tell you for what, probably the first 21 years of its life? And who told you about all those little worries, the rashes and the teething, the ear aches, the tummy pains, and all these other unidentified symptoms that they have, without being able to explain to you what the problem is and where they're coming from. So now it's up to you to figure it out, and you get it wrong all the time, leaving you completely frustrated, anxious, powerless. So why did nobody inform you about, the fact that they don't like any of the healthy food stuff that you buy for them, and it's all so expensive, and it's just so ungrateful? Why did nobody tell me that my entire world that used to revolve around me is now 100% about them? And I could go on with this list for miles and miles. Why did nobody explain this to me before I became a mom? But seriously, and I mean really seriously, be truthful now. Would you have listened? Would it have put you off becoming a mom? No, would you not have needed to really feel, like in-depth feel, and I mean really, really deeply feel at a loving level first before you could understand it for real? Because why on earth would anyone want to ever have a child again, knowing that all of the above suck to the absolute max? And yet here we are. We love them to bits and pieces, maybe even considering having another one, but we do regularly hate all the extra tasks that come with being a mum. Let's face it, it's like having a job next to your job, next to your housework. All of it comes down to you, but for this job, you don't get paid in terms of money. I hope it helps for you to know that honestly, you are not alone in thinking these thoughts. A lot of us have them. A lot of us have them on a very regular basis. And not everybody is verbal about it, but it's definitely not an uncommon thing. Your feelings are completely valid. Being a mum all the time, it's just really hard work, carrying the responsibility of yourself and another human being, maybe several human beings. It's a hard task to complete again and again, each minute of each and every day. Think about this. Would you have wanted to miss the experience of experiencing all the bad stuff? And let me just say that again, because it's a very important question to ask yourself every now and again. When these emotions are skyrocketing and everything is hitting the roof, let me ask you this again, or ask yourself this question again. Would you have wanted to miss the experience of experiencing all the bad stuff? I think I got it right. So does letting it out and daring yourself to think, does letting it out and daring yourself to think it, and maybe for the brave amongst us, even verbalize it every now and then, does that make you a bad person? Does that automatically make you a mum who has failed? A bad mum? Is there maybe somebody in your life that you can have a good old moan to, or even a little rant about it? Or are you keeping it all internal? Are you keeping it all to yourself? If so, then have you ever wondered why you're not telling anyone about this? Are you not saying anything for you? Or are you not saying anything because of your fears of what other people may think about you? Of fears that people may judge you? Know this, it will only grow inside of you if you don't let it out every now and again. Keeping it inside, it's not a good place to keep it, because that is exactly where it can grow and grow and grow into huge proportions, into huge things like huge mental health problematic things. Don't expect anything to change if you're not willing to face it. And I know that's easier said than done. But if you really find someone who you can trust, be it a doctor, a mental health practitioner, a coach, or somebody closer to home like a friend or a neighbor, a family member, to let it out, to vent. And even if these steps are too big for you, to verbally tell someone in person, then maybe try to take some smaller steps, like baby steps, and consider maybe going on to a social media platform where you will find lots and lots of groups related to your issues. I can promise you there's lots of groups about these issues out there, and these people really know how you feel. They rant away and they write it down, and that can be venting in itself. And it's sort of safe because it's also anonymous, and it may be cathartic and a first step to verbalizing your issues if you find yourself struggling to admit to yourself that this is a hard chapter in your life for you, for expecting it to be a super special chapter in your life. Or an even smaller step could be to just, a very first step could be to go online and to just read these people's comments. And I can guarantee you that you will find stuff out there that matches your experience. And hopefully that can convince you that having these feelings is part of the job. Maybe you're even feeling brave about my words of wisdom, and maybe you feel like maybe sharing a bit in the comments under this post. And I promise, no judgment from me. And also, let me reiterate, it's better out than in. And I truly, truly mean that. Oh, and all of the above, that goes for dads as well as mums, for any parent who's struggling. Let it out. Better out than in. Take care.